to possible to predictable. She's been married for almost 20 years and is a proud mom of three. She's also a United States Marine Corps veteran, which means obviously discipline, resilience, and grit all woven in into everything that she teaches. For the last 20 years, she's thrived in technology, risk, project management for some of the largest banking institutions in the world, mastering how systems, processes, and mindset are needed to create success. And on top of her corporate expertise, she's also the CEO and co-owner of Popstars Popcorn, a gourmet popcorn company that crossed the $1 million in revenue mark, proving her strategies create results in business and in life. Now, through her coaching company, she guides ambitious people to reprogram their money mindset, retrain their brain for success, and align with God's abundance while stepping boldly into overflow without having to hustle harder. She's not just a coach, she's the abundance accelerator. Ladies and gentlemen, please drop hand claps and emojis all over this thing for Miss Tavia Jax.
Hello, 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 everybody. Hello. I'm so excited to be here with y'all today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see some new faces. I see some people that were in the 7 day challenge. Or let's give me some snaps, some hand claps if you were in our 7 day challenge or if you watched the replays for that. We've had a lot of powerful transformation and testimonies that are still coming in from that as well. I celebrate you all, y'all. We are going to get into it on today. I am so grateful to share this space with you. I am so grateful to be a vessel in this space to impart to you something that is going to change your life today. So, yes, thank you so much for the introduction, Derek. I am Tavia Jax. I am a United States Marine. Hoorah! Hoorah! And I am a wife. February will be 20 years married and 27 years knowing each other. Y'all, we have three amazing, hilarious kids, one in high school, one in middle school, and one in elementary. Y'all know my emails are off the chain right now, right? Getting all the things from all the teachers as well, an entrepreneur. But more than that, I'm proof that God's abundance works when we align with it as well. So, in the next 2 hours, you're going to see money differently than you ever have before. And that is going to be intentional. And we're going to connect with your most abundant self. So, we're going to connect with your most abundant self. You're going to tap in. Want my desires for everybody to tap in today so that you feel the shift in your mind and your soul and in your spirit. Okay. So we're also going to look into the future, your future, and to see the abundant version of you and what that looks like. So you have clarity around that. We're going to touch on how science and spiritual laws actually guarantee the abundant version of you that isn't just random, that it is predictable, that it is based on law, it is based on the spirit, it is based on facts, it is based on things that we absolutely know will create results for you. We're also going to remove some limiting belief energy. We're going to take some stuff off of y'all that you may have been carrying, beliefs that may have been filtering and creating results for you in the background as well. And this is your wedding day to the abundant you. This is like the day that you're like, oh, I am connecting with the abundant me. I am coming in agreement and I am coming in covenant with the abundant me that I know that I am, because we have to say yes to do that. You have to say yes. Like you have to make it a decision that we doing this thing. Okay, make a decision that you're connecting with your most abundant self. And after you choose her, then you commit to her. After you choose him, if you're a male, you commit to him. Okay, so even after choosing her, life is going to keep life. And so you have to let her know that I'm committed to this thing. We're establishing a sacred space here. This is not just class, it's an activation. And then I'm going to invite you to the Abundance Acceleration Breakthrough Immersion Space. And this is a space for 77 days where I'm going to nurture and support you in a special environment and immerse you in your newfound abundant you so you feel abundant. You're speaking abundance, you're living abundance, you're manifesting abundance, and you're creating abundance. So, for all my typers and note takers, I want you to know for each of our experiences, there are times where I'm going to give you a journaling activity. Please journal. There are times where I'm going to be speaking and asking you to breathe and do exercises. During that time, I'm going to ask you not to take notes because sometimes we're so busy taking notes, we're not really participating. And I want you to experience the full shift of what's going to happen here today. By the end of this session, you'll know the exact shifts needed to move from financial stress to overflow and how to make it your new normal. So, if you are ready for this session, I want you to drop some fire emojis in the chat. Also, my question is, some people are aware of money beliefs they have, and some people may not be aware of money beliefs that you have. So we are going to thank you, Ronaldo. I see you. So we're gonna, y'all, I have so much to cover with you in this brief amount of time. So let me go ahead and share my screen as we get into it. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So, you are in right now the Financial Abundance Masterclass to help break free from stress, from blocks and ceilings into predictable abundance. And this is presented by Dare to Dream. So I talked about who I am. This was a picture of us on the news um, with our popcorn business. So we've been building that empire, having a great time with that as well. So, what is one money belief or stress that you want to release today? You can drop it in the chat. What's a money belief or stress? Like you want to just feel it lifting off of your shoulders that you want to release today. Thank you, Patrice Lasita. Thank you, Shanika. I see you guys as fire emojis. What's a money belief or stress you want to release today? Some people, it's like, I want to have more than enough all the time. Yeah, scarcity, there's not enough. Effort, I have to work hard for it. The good ones, living in just enough. Yes, releasing it, we're releasing it. Budget limitations, absolutely, absolutely. I love to hear it. Love to hear it. So we're setting an intention that we are financial freedom. Yes, I love to hear it. That we're going to be releasing those things, overworking and over functioning. So I'm never without. Yes, releasing those things today. That is perfect. Great job dropping those in the chat. So I know for me, I remember times where the lights got cut off. And it's like, well, I work a quote unquote good job, but it was not enough to fund a life and having kids and all the things that come up. It wasn't enough. Even with two people there, it was just like, not enough, right? I remember being in the grocery store and I would, fill up my cart and when I got to the register, I would start putting stuff back. Like it became my norm. It became the cycle of pick out the groceries you want. And then when you get to the front, look at it, try to calculate it, and start putting stuff back. One of my clients, she said before she started getting into this work that she would count and multiply like how many pieces of bacon she could eat a day based on her budget and what she was able to buy. I don't know if anybody's ever experienced or understood that. Um, I remember one time we were gonna have some family come over to our house and then the lights got cut off. So we were like, hey guys, you know what? Let's go out to eat. We're gonna meet y'all at a restaurant. And and so instead, Angie, we wound up, man, and they were like, oh, this was such a great idea. Tell me about it. It was a wonderful idea. If y'all didn't want to be sitting in the dark, you know. And so There were so many things that would happen. And then even as years went by, and that was like 15 years ago. And as years went by, um, continued to happen. And I began to tap into abundance principles, and we were able to raise our entire family household income by over $200,000, and to watch the jumps happen and the things keep going up and up and up, and to remove ourselves from certain emotional stresses in our household. For me, it was the lack of financial security. Like it's bigger than not having money. Security. Security. Like it's financial security means not only is it here today, it's going to be here tomorrow. Because if you've ever experienced feast or famine, which is what we'll talk about, it's like you have all this money and then absolutely nothing. And now operating a business on top of a household, like I'm sure if y'all, any of entrepreneurs in here, that things could be up and down sometimes in business. And so then you have your business that could be doing things, and then you have your household, or maybe your household is supporting your businesses. So there were times where our household was supporting, the household was fine. Like if I wasn't supporting the businesses, like everything would be amazing. But then, the Lord has you stepping out there on the limb. So it's like, okay, well, now I got this business. I need to take care of this baby and doing those things. So some of you may have experienced ups and downs and things like that. And so it's important to recognize and realize and think about what has that looked like for you, and what is it that you really desire. So most of us are in a transition phase. We are somewhere between what we used to be and where we're meant to be. So that's the in between, and the in between can still feel like, uh, like it can feel exhausting and disappointing. And from some of you all, like if you're a Christian, you're a believer, you're like, I know what my life is supposed to look like, and this is not what I expected. Like now, Lord. And I know for me, it was like I could quote every one of these scriptures. I memorized them. I know what you said. I believe them. Why is my money not matching your word? Why is my money not matching the word? Not lining up, Lord. Now, Jesus, it's not lining up. And even as an intercessor, like people would come to the altar, and they'd be like, please pray for me. I need this money, or I need that money, or this is happening and that is happening. And when those things were happening, one day the Lord was like, well, you could pray for them, and that's fine, but they're going to keep needing the same prayer until the mindset changes, the behaviors change, the identity changes, and the awareness changes. Okay, Lord. So this is not just Jesus will magically fix it. That's what I wanted. Has anybody, listen, I would love for you to magically fix it. There are so many stages of my life that I was like, Lord, I know you can fix it. Just magically fix it. And he was like, nah, you got to go through the process. And some of you all may be in a similar place as me, where he's like, I can fix it. And he does fix it. Like you've been in some binds, he came through, checks in the mail, people sent you money, like they gave you groceries, they bought things for your family, they took care of you, they came through. But now we're ready to go into abundance. So abundance means overflow. Abundance means excessive. And Derek, can you let people in the meeting as they're joining, please, to admit them into the room? And so abundance is excessive. Abundance is overflow. Abundance isn't like just getting by. It's like more than enough, to the full. And so we want to live on that level. And sometimes we're doing okay, but there haven't been increases. Like sometimes it's like, oh, I've been all right, but when has there been a big shift so you could do more, or do the next thing, or serve more people? And so even in that space, we want to open the opportunity for abundance to flow, because you're called to greatness, you're called to more. Okay, so my question is anybody else over it, over the hustle, over the push energy, like, oh, I got to figure this and this out because I got to make this and this happen, over being burnt out, You got solution fatigue. You have tried to come up with so many solutions to fix your finances that it's like, man, another one today. Like, I got to figure something else out today. Like, I am tired of thinking and thinking and thinking and running all the scenarios through my brain and who do I know? Who do I call? Who am I going to specifically pray, Lord, touch that person? Lord, can you put my name on that person's heart? Tell them to send the girl something, you know? And so there can be strain, relationship strain. All of these things can happen. Okay. So, in this moment, if everybody has something to write with, I'm going to ask you to journal. And we're going to journal for I'm going to give everybody 2.5 minutes, roughly, we'll say. Okay, so as we're journaling, our topic is, and I'm actually going to give you a few topics. Renata said, I prayed that prayer so real. Listen, I know because I prayed that prayer. Like, I am here teaching these concepts because the Lord was like, listen here, Missy, I can teach you the way to not be here if you would just follow my instructions. And but listen, let me say one more thing. As an intercessor, one day I met this powerful woman. I was in Atlanta and she came from, where did she come from? She came from Chicago and she was at the same event that I was at. And I walked over to her. It already makes the hair on my arm stand up. I walked over to her during a break and I waited and then I just kind of trying to found a moment to walk over. Something just led me to her. And I said, hi, how are you? What's your name? And I said, who do you help? Like, as a professional, I knew she was an entrepreneur. So I was asking, like, what kind of people do you help? Who do you help? And she said, you. I didn't even know what to say, y'all. I was, uh, um, okay. I was like stunned, right? And she said, I want to tell you something. Now, this lady don't know me from a can of paint. She said it's time out for the intercessors praying for people, for their businesses to grow and their life to grow and everything else to be better in their life. And when everything happens and they become half a millionaires and millionaires, they send you a $25 offering and the intercessor is still broke. My mouth dropped open. I was like, um, well, amen. Like, I am an intercessor. Like, how, and so then I said, well, exactly, how does that happen? Like, how does this transformation happen? Like, how do things get shifted to where that is a thing? And she said, well, you know what? She said, I actually am a leader at a church. And she was like, at this church, I literally am the intercessor and the prayer warrior. And she said, and guess what? And I was like, what? She said, they wanted me to come on as a position to be a speaker, to be the intercessor for all the business people. And I gave them a number, a six-figure number to the church, that's what it would cost. I said, hold up, you did what? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You did what? She said, this is not free. She said, it's time out for the people who are nurturing, birthing, holding space for other people, supporting everybody else, being broke. And now she is far from broke. I mean, she has multiple businesses. She is a visionary for entrepreneurs. A one-on-one session with her cost like $1,000. I was like, oh, let me see if I can set up a meeting with her. And I clicked the link and it said 1000. I said, okay, give me maybe 2 more weeks. But listen, she knew that what I have is time, effort, energy, and tears, and it's not for free. Okay, so your journaling prompt is, well, first I want you to write on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being I am totally satisfied. Let's do 1 to 10. 10 is I'm totally satisfied. Couldn't get any better if I tried. And 1 means I'm done and I'm over it. This is not where I want to be. Okay, so the question is, how would you rate your level of abundance right now financially? So 10 means totally happy, satisfied. I am in excess, I'm in overflow. And number one is over it. So pick your number between 1 and 10. Got it. Okay, so next I'm going to give everybody about 2 minutes to journal. Got it. I see your numbers. Got it. And so next, what you're going to journal is why you chose that number. So it's like, okay, this is the number that I chose. And you're going to journal why you chose that number. So I chose that number because for how long I have felt blank, blank, blank. And I'm typing in the chat for blank long I have felt or experienced. Da 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 da. Da. Okay, so I'm gonna put up a timer. I want everybody to just take 2 minutes and you are going to journal about this topic. So you have 2 minutes. As you're journaling, I want you to write next. If nothing changes in 3 years, how do you think you would feel? What do you think would be happening if nothing changed in 3 years from what you just wrote about? Okay, perfect. Time is up. Excellent. Great job, great job, great job. So, some of the things that um, we mentioned that you may be feeling is the feast and famine cycles, like it's amazing and then it's not. It's amazing, so I pay all the things I need to pay and the things that were behind, and then it's like, wow, wow. Okay, money comes in but never feels enough. silent financial stress, even at six figures. That part, even at seven figures, the invisible ceiling, like you make good money but can't seem to expand past a certain point. Like, why do I keep hitting this point? I want to get over this point. I want to get over this mark. I want to have an increase that's over $100,000. I want to get past this mark. And then sometimes it's maybe I've done great this far, and I could only imagine what tapping into, spiritual laws and principles, where that will take me. So I have great news for everyone on this call, on this Zoom today. I have great news. I have an announcement for you. It is not you. Somebody say, thank the Lord. Lord, thank you that it's not me. It's not you. It is literally not you. This is not just happening because you. It's not you. Okay? So, when it comes to what you may be experiencing, Dr. Caroline Leaf said toxic thought patterns keep the brain wired to expect lack. So there are toxic patterns in our brain that can be creating cycles for us. And these aren't toxic patterns that you thought of. These aren't toxic patterns that you created or made up. These are certain patterns that have come in over time through life's trials and tribulations. These are patterns that have showed up in our brain. All type of patterns. Patterns from how you were treated as a child, patterns from things that people said to you, patterns from what teachers said to you. These patterns have been showing up over time. And so you're probably like, well, how do I override these patterns? Bruce Lipton, oh, I love his book. Bruce Lipton has an awesome, awesome book called The Biology of Belief and many others. But Bruce Lipton said your subconscious beliefs control 95% of your financial behaviors, which means 95% of the time you're on autopilot. 95% of the time you're not really thinking about what's happening. It's happening on autopilot. Like your responses are programmed, your yeses and nos are programmed. How you think about money when things happen is a programmed response. 95% of the time, it's not you, it's your programming, but the programming can be rewritten. So a lot of the times, your brain is literally in default mode. So some people say that your subconscious likes to keep you safe. Your subconscious likes to keep you sane. Yes, it likes to keep you safe. It also likes to keep you the same. And in your mind, you're like, I don't want to be the same. But your subconscious mind is like, well, we feel more comfortable if something doesn't change. We'd rather you stay the same. Okay, so that means your brain goes into default mode, and your brain is a prediction machine, and so it's set to default. That's what it wants to do. And so one of the ways around this is, well, not first, let me tell you one thing about your brain. So there's a part of your brain called the cingulate cortex. So not only is your brain protecting you, your hippocampus is designed to protect you and to keep you where you are and tell you all the memories and why you shouldn't do anything different and why you're going to think you're losing money and all these things. So keep people hoard and people don't operate in the law of circulation. They don't give money. They don't invest in things. They don't even give to church. I think Sonia was telling me today 40% of Christians don't even tithe because of fear and scarcity. So there's that. There's your frontal lobe and your hippocampus that's doing that part. And then there's the cingulate cortex, another part of your brain. And that part of your brain is the security guard of your identity. So whatever identity has been created, it stands guard to make sure you stay in character. And when you start trying to change the character, when you're like, you know what, I'm gonna start utilizing the law of circulation. Whereas before, maybe you just kept everything. And then you want to step out into a new law. And that cingulate cortex part of your brain, the security guard's like, hold up, we don't want you coming in here. Like it's gonna try and block you from changing your identity. That could work good or bad. It just depends on your identity. But if your financial identity and your abundance identity isn't set to overflow in abundance, then that means we have to break up with the security guard and we got to get a fake ID. We gotta do something to get past that security guard. We got to make some bold decisions. We got to come in the back door. We got to put the tall friend in front of us who looks older than 21 and just walk behind them real fast like you a part of the group. You got to go in with the guy. I'm with him. I'm with him. Don't act like y'all never went to anything. I mean, you may not have gone to the club, but you went somewhere. I'm with them. I'm with them. And I'm with him. And you get to go in. And I'm with them today. I'm with them. You, but I'm with her. I'm with her. I get to go past. I get to go in, and the security guard's gonna look at you and be like, today, today you can go in. Mm, today, today you can go in. Today. Today to each and every one of you on this. Today, Maria, today, Patrice, today, Ronalda, today, Janet, today, Angie, today, Sharon, Anissa, Sonia, Sita, Shanika, today, today, Queen, today. There's a special thing about today. Like you can't show up to the event and to the club and try to get the security guard to let you in when the entourage isn't there. They're gonna be like, they, you know how you used to see DJ Jazzy Jeff getting thrown out of the Fresh Prince and you would just see his body fly. It's like that, get out of here, man, get that out of here. What you trying to do? And so when you don't have the right pathway, you don't have the right access point, you don't have the right support to override the security guard, they'd be like, get that out of here. You be at home like, ooh, today I'm gonna make a bold decision. I'm gonna make a bold step. I'm gonna do this, this, and this. And your brain be like, ma'am, I'm about to put you in panic mode so fast. And that's what happens. Sometimes we start making decisions and then the old identity creeps back up. And so that's why we have to make a decision today to step into something new, a decision today to utilize this portal that's being created for you. So I'm going to give you 4 ways to override the default mode network that's happening in your brain. Okay. This is a great place and a great time to take notes. I'm going to give you 4 ways to override this default. Okay, so the first way, there are 4 Ds. The first is to decide. Decide your version of wealth that your nervous system approved is what you're going to do. So you have to decide for what abundance looks like for you, and you pick a version that's nervous system approved. So what does that mean? Um, there are certain times where a person, my the not this house, but the house before this house, when I saw the number when we were looking at it, oh, absolutely not. Absolutely. My nervous system was like, I can't handle that number. Like at that time, it was like I didn't even want to go see it. It could be beautiful, but nothing about that number scares me. And then I went home and I did the math and I did the things to allow my nervous system to be at peace with that number. Because if you're picking wealth and abundance principles and your nervous system is going haywire, sometimes one of the ways to go in the back door is to create the level of abundance your nervous system can handle. Say, for example, if this is a church example, there's a church and they had a $4,000 light bill and it bothered them. And then somebody said, Joel Osteen's church light bill is $40,000. But if your nervous system couldn't handle the $40,000 light bill, that means there's a different level of abundance that your mind would have to adjust to. Because of course, if the light bill is 40K, there's people to support that and things like that. But in the brain, if it can't acknowledge or receive that, that means there's a nervous system gap there. So we want to start with a place that this is abundant for me and my nervous system can handle this level of abundance. Okay, so you have to decide what wealth feels safe for you and what abundance feels like that is still feels safe for you. And then you decide with complete clarity. So the next thing I want everybody to write down, if you want to drop it in the chat, you can. If you want to write it on your paper, you can. If you want to do both, you can. What does abundance feel like for you? What does it feel like? What is overflow consistently? Living in abundance. What does living in abundance feel like to you? We want to know, what does abundance feel like? Does it feel like peace? What does abundance feel like for you? What does living in abundance feel like for you? Joy. Abundance feels like choice, freedom, not having to say no. So abundance looks like a lot of yeses. Not, I like to say yes ands. I love it. Peace and joy. Peace and joy. Yes to myself and others over and over again because it's not running out. I see. Abundance feels like no limitations with what I desire to do, sow, or participate in. It feels like peace and harmony with God's plan for me. I love it. I want you to drop in the chat now freedom and rest. I love that, Angie. It feels like being the solution to a financial problem instead of having the financial problem. Come on, come on, come on. I love that. I love that. That's dope. Very good. So now I want you to write and you're going to type in the chat. We're going to do rapid fire. What are some things that you can do or would do with abundance? If you were thinking like, oh, abundance is going to provide this opportunity for me, abundance is going to allow me to do X, Y, and Z. So you're making it measurable because if you aren't willing to see it and ask, we can't receive. So now I want you to make it measurable. Why you want to have that abundance? What is it that you're going to do? Why do you want it? It's something that that's on your heart. So drop it in the chat. What's the measurable thing? Something that makes a difference. Like some retire my husband. Like what is it for you? So you want to be clear with your answer. It could mean I want to have a profitable business where I work 3 days a week and spend time with my family. Hmm. Abundance feels like authority. Come on now. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, Patrice said international travel for personal and entrepreneurial, establish generational wealth, give back and create different aspects of my business, and have time off so I can spend more time with family and travel. Yes, I love that. So while you're doing that, remember that those things that we were facing up until now, that it's not you, it's your programming, and that programming can be rewritten. Ronaldo said, my ultimate goal is to build a community for middle income single parent families who often live in the gap of, yes, of making too much for social programs, but not enough to do life on their own. I love that. That is so beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Ronaldo. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And so we have a results formula. So how our results are happening each time, there's a formula for that. They're happening for a reason. They're happening for a specific thing. It's not that you're just procrastinating or not that you're not smart. There are patterns and behaviors, and I'm going to show you what some of those are looking like, and then we'll go back to our the rest of our D's as we share. So let me just share my screen really quick. Okay. So this is how our results are created. They're starting our thoughts. So what are we thinking about money? What are we thinking? Isn't the problem is never the problem, it's what you're thinking about the problem that's the problem. So then what you're thinking is going to drive your feelings. Let me give you an example. So because I know spiritual laws and abundance laws, I operate in the law of circulation. So if somebody doesn't operate in a law of circulation, they can be very upset to pay a bill. But when you operate in the law of circulation, you release that and you understand the law, knowing that money is coming back to me because I'm releasing money. So, and it's not even only being coming back to you in that specific dollar amount, like money is coming back to me and increasing quantities frequently. But if I don't know that, I'm upset. I can't believe this came up. I'm not operating in gratitude. It's just like this is irritating to me. So that's going to impact my feelings. Now I feel grouchy. I feel upset. I feel angry. I feel like I'm in scarcity mode again. My nervous system doesn't feel good. My brain is back in panic mode. And then what are my actions going to be? Maybe I'm grumpy to people. Maybe I start hoarding my money. Maybe many different things. But what does that yield as a result? What the result is that we stay in the same place year after year, month after month, some decade after decade, because we haven't changed the all the way down to the thoughts and all the way deeper down to our identity. So then we are creating the result that we don't want to create. Okay? So you have to decide. And when you decide, you're also choosing your thoughts. What are you going to think about that thing? And decide with complete clarity. Number two is declare. When you decide that you are going to be the most abundant version of you now, you say that thing out loud and you say that thing with your chest. I am the most abundant version of me. I am living the most abundant version of me. I am stepping into the most abundant version of me. Because sound is frequency that turns into matter. So I am the wealthy me now. Like the word, in the beginning was the word. The word became flesh. Declare it with your mouth. Number three is dismantle. Dismantle the programming in your brain that's on default mode. Visualize the version of you that's wealthy and feels safe in your body. Let your brain see how wonderful, wonderful and attractive abundance really looks and feels on you. Let your brain see that. Like this feels good. This looks good, Sita. This is amazing, Sharon. This is impacting my life in great ways. This is how I'm called to live. This is what it's supposed to look like for me. So we got to dismantle it, dismantle everything else, and let your brain see it, not by working harder, not by beating yourself up, but we're going to dismantle the programming and install the right programming. And the fourth D is daily actions, where every day you walk into the world as her. You think like her. You act like her. You make choices like her. When something comes up, you ask yourself, is this the choice the abundant me is going to choose? Is this how the abundant me is going to respond? So I know when I was settling into my abundant identity, something came up and it was like, oh, you can go get this thing. And if you stand in line for 3 hours, you'll get $100 discount off of this service, but it is a generic service. So everybody's getting the same options, same choices, but you can stand in line for 3 hours and get $100 off. And the abundant version of me said, we are not standing in line for 3 hours to get $100 off of anything. 1 hour of my time is worth $2,400. Why would I stand in line for 3 hours? That's like me losing $2,100 to stand in somebody's line for some generic something. You got to live from the abundant identity of yourself. When you start shifting your identity, doors begin to open. Sometimes life is like hit us and kind of beat us down, and there's been things that have happened back to back to back. It can feel like you couldn't catch your breath, and then people have treated us a certain way in corporate America. I was working at one large bank at one point in time, and it was like I was starting to doubt that I was good at what I did. Like it felt bad, like I didn't feel good. And it made me hesitant to apply for jobs. It made me hesitant, like in an interview, and I had to wash that stuff off. I'm that girl. I can do this. I know I'm gifted. I know I'm talented. I know I put in the time. I know I've done this. And when you walk into the identity that is your calling and that you're birthing into, doors will start opening where things were closed before. People are going to be calling you. You're going to be in demand just simply by shifting your identity. Daily choices. Daily choices. You have to know your wealth identity. There are certain things I refuse to do because it is not a part of my wealth identity. When we were kids, there were many nights that we had pork and beans with Franks. And at that time, it felt amazing. Ooh, we get to toast the bread. Ooh, I get to chop up these Franks and have a bite of Frank with every little piece of so and so. I, for the sheer fact that that my parents made me eat pork and beans because I knew it was inexpensive and I knew how much those cans cost. I actually do think that pork and beans with toast taste good, but my wealth identity, I just can't do it. I just can't. So, what is your wealth identity? Let me tell you some other examples about identity. There's a different identity of being single than there is of being married. So, when my identity as a married person, one of my friends, um, she had just gotten married, and her husband said, I don't know that you fully like soaked into the identity that you know that you're married now. And she said, well, like, yeah, I'm so excited to be married. I had such a great time at the wedding. Like, why would you say that? And he said, come with me. And he walked into the garage. And he said, let me show you an example. He said, you parked your car in the middle of the two-car garage. My car can't fit because she didn't park on one side. She parked her car in the middle like she was the only person that lived there. And she was like, dang, my bad. I got it. I got it. And then the next day, she thought of something and she hopped up and she ran outside the house and she left. And while she was in the middle of doing what she was doing, she was like, dang on it, I did it again. I hopped up and left the house like I was single. Didn't even tell the person that I live with that I'm leaving. Didn't even say, babe, I'm going so and so a place. Like she was married. She had on a ring, but her actions were still identifying with a single person. And there we can be like, we want to be abundant. We're so happy to be abundant. And then our daily actions are identifying with a person who is not. Not that we aren't quoting the scripture. Not that we don't believe the scripture. Not that we're not excited about, you know, our potential and our future, but our identity hasn't fully shifted yet. There's a scripture, Ephesians 4:22 through 24. And I am going to drop the scripture in the chat. So this scripture says that you put off concerning the former conversation, the old man, which is corrupt, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that you put on the new man, which after God is created in righteousness and true holiness. Another version, this one says deceitful lust. Another version says deceitful desires. So let me break this down really quick for you and how that relates to what we're talking about, your identity, who you are, your brain, what's been programmed. The deceitful desires are the old neural pathways and subconscious programs formed through past experience, through past fear and survival conditioning. The Bible is so good. Like it is replete with real answers. The deceitful desires are the old neural pathways that's been operating in your brain. It's the old subconscious programs that were formed through past experiences, through fear. survival conditioning. Okay. And then in the scripture, it talks about which is corrupt. So being corrupted is the neural wiring that keeps reinforcing the outdated beliefs. It's like, I don't believe this anymore, but your brain is wired and it hasn't been rewired. So it keeps on reinforcing the outdated beliefs. Like wealth isn't for me, even when they no longer serve your current goals. And it says, put off your old self. Put off your old self. So when you put off the former, put off the old you. One version says put off the old self. That is the synaptic pruning, weakening the old neural circuits by no longer acting from them. So anytime you want to change a pattern in your brain, imagine, have you ever seen a dirt path that used to be grass? But it became dirt because people walked on the path over and over and over. Like the house I grew up in, if you went behind our house, there was a path that you could go behind the house through the woods to the store. And so there was a path there because people had walked on it over and over. Everything else was grassy, but the path we walked on over and over was now a dirt path. That's what happens in your brain. The path you walked on over and over and over, it becomes a dirt path. If you pour water in something like that, the water goes more so down the dirt path than the other ways because the dirt path is going to show a groove. So it's the easiest route at that time until you start paving a new path. So the synaptic pruning is going to be weakened when you start paving a new path and no longer acting from the other path that felt like it was the easiest, most traditional path. So the thing I want you to know is that when you start acting as your new most abundant self, the path gets easier and easier. At first, it could feel like, oh, it's grassy. This grass is itching me. Oh, there could be bugs in this grass, or oh, this feels harder to walk on. Only at the beginning, when you keep doing it, that's going to become your most easiest path. And then it says, be renewed in the spirit of your mind. Another version says, be made new in the attitude of your mind. Neuroplasticity, creating and strengthening new brain connections that support your wealthy identity. You are going to be made new, creating and strengthening the new brain connections for your wealth identity, for your abundance identity. And the last is put on the new self. Put on the new self. Put on the new man. Put on your abundant identity, the wealthy you. The identity integration is consistently thinking, feeling, and acting as your wealthy self until it becomes your brain's default. Until it becomes your brain's default. So we talked about decide, declare, dismantle, daily actions. Daily actions. So those are some of the ways that we do that. Next, I want to share with you how we can break through some of these old patterns and old paradigms. But lastly, I want to share a quote from Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's amazing. And it says, the more you know about who you want to be in the future, the more it's possible for you to arrive there. He said, if you can't connect, if sorry, he said, if you can connect with that person and believe in that person and feel what it feels like to behave as that person, you can become that person. So whenever people are trying to do something, they're like, it's not working. I want to step out, but I keep going back to the old patterns of behavior because the security guard is like, nah, I got to keep you in character. It's not that you're procrastinating or not that you're not smart. You've just been in default mode. But you get to become the programmer. And I'm teaching you how to become the programmer. So let's talk about some common beliefs about money and some breaking some of these old paradigms, okay? So one of the old paradigms is I have to work harder to make money. So hard work without aligned beliefs keeps you on a hamster wheel. And neuroscience shows that your brain defaults to effort equals worthiness. You don't want your brain on the mode that your effort equals your worthiness. But when we think that we have to work hard, and we were taught in the past that we have to work hard for money, then your brain, what it wires together is effort equals worthiness. If I don't show these people I'm working really hard, I'm not worthy of this salary. I've had so many clients that they think that to cross a six figure mark in their salaries, that means that they're gonna have to work so hard. And one person I said, what income would you like on your new job? And she gave me this low number, and I said, "Well, share with me. Do you feel like that number will meet your needs, or like how did you come up with that number?" And she was like, "Well, I don't want to do this number because I still want to have freedom and time with my family." So the assumption is to make six figures that you give up freedom and time with your family. I said, well, to break an assumption, all you have to do is know the truth. So you could Google tons of people. I said, but I could just tell you right now. I was like, I've been making six figures for over a decade. And I said, this will not be publicly stated. Friends, this is a safe space. Okay. Y'all all keep this right here. Created over that amount of income every year over year for over a decade. And I probably physically work for my job 8 out of 40 hours. Everything they need me to do gets done. But I have more free time with that job than I did when I was at the $50,000 job. But in our minds, are we creating effort with worth? Like, do you feel like in your business, if I don't work this hard, and if I don't stay awake every night doing this, and this, and if I don't blood, sweat, and tears every day, that I don't deserve success? So we don't want to wire our brain that effort equals worthiness. So the reframe is money flows to me in increasing amounts through aligned ideas, inspired action, and divine opportunities. I don't chase, I attract. I don't chase, I attract. Okay. Um, so we want to keep that in mind. Some people think if I stop grinding, if I stop working so hard, it's gonna all disappear. Success isn't for people like me. Money is stressful and complicated. Wanting wealth makes them selfish or greedy. That's a myth. It's rooted in sometimes religious and cultural conditioning. It could be religious or cultural conditioning. And that conditioning is saying that abundance abundance is only allowing me to serve in certain ways. Like I can't enjoy it. Like it can't just be for me. Even the Christian community, man, oh man, they were like, oh, well, we should only want to be wealthy just to give it back to the church. The devil is a liar. I said it. When you look in the Bible and it talks about Solomon, Solomon absolutely gave to the church. But if Solomon gave all his money to the church, he wouldn't have had the temple. Like if you read the Bible, it tells you how they built all these things out of gold and every room was immaculate and intricate. They absolutely took care of the church and gave to the church, but it wasn't the only thing he did. And so there's this like this myth out there that, oh, you can't feel good if you want more money if you're not saying that it's just for the kingdom. It's okay for you to have more money and take care of your kids. It's okay for you to have more money because your kid said, one of my friends, her daughter said, I want to go to a name brand college, mama. So get ready. And I said, that is so funny that she called it a name brand college. Like I heard name brand shoes. We heard name brand food. I never heard name brand college. But the school she wanted to go to for that 4 years, it was going to cost her like $500,000. And she told her mom early, Mom, I want to go to a name brand college. So I can have wealth and abundance to take care of my family. Do you know how many marriages will be better off with abundance? But if we're programmed to think, oh, I can only want to be abundant because I'm giving it to the kingdom, you know what? Your marriage is your first ministry. Imagine being able to take nice vacations with your spouse and y'all loving on each other and having connected time or being able to invest in your marriage, invest in things that cost money. That my marriage is my first ministry, even before the church. So we should be able to invest in our ministry, which is the church. I mean, which is our marriage first. There's so many things that money does. Money puts you in rooms that give you influence. So why would I be like, if I'm not giving all my money away to the church, then I don't deserve to be wealthy? Okay, so we're breaking that up, undoing every seed of that to know that it's up, baby. You want a BMW? Sign me up. I do and do. I saw a BMW Alpina the other day. I said, come on, come here, come here. Yes, and ma'am, and yes, sir. You want a larger house? I know when we moved into the house we have, somebody was like, why do you need all that house? Your kids are eventually going to go off to college. So you're under the myth that space is only allotted to kids. You think I can't have space just because I enjoy space? You think I have to fill up the space with humans? Do you know how many people have mansions and they don't have a person to fill every space? So what myths have been told to you that you're thinking of about money? Like, I can't have this abundance. I can't have excess. Abundance means excess. It means overflow. It is God's desire for you to have life and have it more abundantly. All of your life, every part of your relationships, your health, your family, your friends, all abundant. Your money, your emotions, abundantly well in every area of your life. And then some people think if I stop grinding, it'll disappear, so they don't rest. That I can't take a vacation. Take the vacation. I can't take time off of work. You got time, take the time. Or success isn't for people like me. So they call that, neuroscience calls that familiarity basis. But you're designed for success and overflow. Your lineage shifts because you choose abundance now. Some people feel like money is stressful and complicated. Like, I'm not a hip hop person, but I think it was Biggie that said more money, more problems. And somebody else is a hip hop fan, just drop it in the chat, help me out. But the subconscious in this situation would be linking money to fear, shame, and conflict. And that means your brain is pairing money with pain for you. And if your brain pairs money with pain, it's going to subconsciously push away money from you without your conscious brain even understanding what's happening. It's saying money is uncomfortable. Money is going to make my life more difficult. I got to spend it as soon as I get it. But you got to reframe that with money is simple, supportive, and joyful. It flows to me with ease, clarity, and grace. There was a lady, and thank you, nailed it. I appreciate it. Patrice, your dad said the same thing to you? That part. So there was this lady, y'all, and she was an Asian lady, and we were working together and we were talking about money and abundance, and there was like this block there. Like she was like, well, I don't, she was like, well, money's not really important to me. That's always the one. Money's not really important to me. There's always something underneath that. So waited, talked through some things, and then about 15 minutes later, I said, can you tell me like what your childhood was like with money? You know what she said? She started crying. She said, I just remembered. Now, this lady has a tech company. When I tell you she makes money, she makes money. And she always spends every dime. She is a millionaire. Everything she gets, she spends it as fast as she can. And so she said, I don't know why I'm always broke. I make a lot of money. When a lot of money. And so I said, well, what happened when you were a kid? And she started crying and she said, I'm just now remembering that when I was a kid, every time somebody gave me money, my brother would come and take some of it and go buy things and go buy ice cream from the ice cream truck. And so she programmed herself to use everything that came to her before her brother could get there and take her money and use it. But the thing is, she never stopped doing that. And she's an adult now. Her brother doesn't live with her. But the pattern started. There was a subconscious belief there that she generalized, use it before somebody else takes it. And she kept doing it for 40 years. Your story may be different, but there could be things programmed as well with us that are old stories that we keep doing the same patterns over and over and over. This is as good as it gets. So that's the subconscious ceiling that the brain accepts as truth. Every day you get to expand in more wealth and abundance, freedom and joy. There is no ceiling on your abundance. Okay? So right now we're going to do an exercise to release some of these old beliefs and some of these old paradigms. Okay, so we're going to do some exercises. So the main part of this exercise is all you're going to be doing is just taking a deep breath in, and then I'm going to tell you to let it go. Nice slow exhale out. So we're about to release some old money myths and replace them with powerful truths. Okay? So the first one, I have to work harder to make money. I have to work harder to make money. So you're going to take a deep breath in, slow exhale out. The truth is that money flows to you in increasing amounts through aligned ideas, inspired action, and divine opportunities. You don't chase, you attract. For wealth and greed, thinking that money made the person selfish, we're going to take a deep breath in, exhale. The truth is, abundance allows me to give generously, love freely, live freely. The more I receive, the more I can bless others. Take another deep breath in. If you feel like you can't keep money up until now, exhale. The truth is, money stays, multiplies, and circulates through you with joy. You're a safe place for wealth to grow. If I stop, money disappears. Take a deep breath in, exhale. The truth is, rest is productive. Rest is replenishing. Your peace creates profit. Abundance flows to you even while you rest. Gonna take another deep breath in about success isn't for people like me. Exhale. The truth is you're designed for success and overflow. Your lineage shifts because you choose abundance now. Money is stressful. Take a deep breath in. Deeper breath in. Now exhale. The truth is money is simple, supportive, and joyful. It flows to you with ease, clarity, and grace. Last one. If a person is thinking this is as good as it gets, take a deep breath in. Exhale. Every day I expand in more wealth, freedom, and joy. There is no ceiling on your abundance. There is no ceiling on your abundance. So I'm going to teach you 4 money shifts right now. So the very first money shift that we're going to cover is paradigms, pictures, and provision. Money mirrors your beliefs. Okay, so paradigms, pictures, and provision. So most people live by the same money paradigm that they learned as a child. Like just how that my Asian friend that I was telling you about, that money belief that she had was from, she was like 5 or 8 years old, and she was then 40 years old, still living in that space of trauma with money trauma. Okay, so other phrases, money doesn't grow on trees. Like there are phrases that I say that now with my kids, I'll catch myself and be like, oh, don't teach them that, Tavia, because we don't want them to think that there is scarcity with money. Because money flows to me easily, frequently, and in increasing quantities. I'm not going to teach my children that money doesn't grow on trees. I'm not going to teach my children that they have to work twice as hard as somebody else or that we can't afford that. So I had to reprogram my speaking and my language from all the things that were said to me. If it's not a wise financial investment at this time, it's not a wise financial investment at this time. But it's not that I can't afford it. If it's I'm not choosing to utilize my resources on that, I'm not choosing to utilize my resources on that. But it's not we can't afford it. So these paradigms have become automatic settings that keep people stuck at the same financial level no matter how much they earn. That's why some people make 6 figures and still feel broke. Their outer results can't outgrow beyond that inner paradigm. So recognize the money paradigm. What did you hear growing up? And ask yourself, how is that still running me today? I had a money paradigm that I didn't deserve expensive things because my parents didn't buy me expensive things. Because when my mom bought steak for my dad, she fed us something else. So it was, I'm not worthy of steak. And she never said that. I'm sure nothing that she was doing, she was trying to communicate that. I'm sure they were just trying to be effective. And my dad wanted steak and just trying to save money. I don't think I ate steak until I was probably 27. I had my first name brand pair of shoes didn't come because I bought them. It came because when I was in college, Derek bought them. My first pair of Nikes, I didn't get until I was 19 because somebody bought me Nikes because I didn't think that I was deserving or worthy of spending that much money on shoes when Pick and Pay and Payless, shoes were a different amount. So my parents were just doing the best they could with what they had, but those solutions, there was a thought that went down in me. So remember the results formula. Our thoughts are going to determine our feelings are going to determine our actions, and our actions are going to determine our results. So I'll also push away things that didn't seem like I was worthy of them. Like, you want to buy me a steak meal? One time I went out to eat with my pastor, and it was still my default program, y'all. I was in my 30s. I went out to eat with my pastor, and it was like a group of people, right? And we were at the restaurant, and it was Ruby Tuesdays, and they had like this pick two for $15 thing. And so I quickly looked at the menu and I said, I'll do the pick two for $15. And my pastor said, is that what you really want? And I was like, no, get what you want. I was just wanting to make sure I was being considerate of, whoever was paying for this bill. Because I mean, they had said that somebody else was paying for it. And he was like, get what you want. And it reminded me of that same old paradigm that I was taught from my dad, not my dad, but just growing up in my house, that I'm not worthy of the steak. What is the paradigm for you? I got my first name brand purse at probably 34, and I didn't buy it. As soon as I opened up my thought process to this same abundance, all I did was undo the old pattern. And the next day, a name brand purse came to me in the mail. It was like, what you realize is when you undo these paradigms, you don't even wind up spending your money half the time for it. People will give it to you, but while they are still in existence and while you still believe them, it's like an invisible barricade that is blocking blessing, is blocking abundance, is blocking you from receiving your next level of abundance. It's like an invisible thing. Yeah, get what you want is a mindset shift. It's a mindset shift. So recognize the money paradigms that you may have. Now, one thing Joe Dispenza teaches is that your brain can't distinguish between imagination and reality. Your brain literally rewires itself based on what you repeatedly imagine and feel. So when you visualize abundance and pair it with an emotion, the brain fires and wires those circuits together as if it's really happening. That's why vision boards are important. That's why visualization is important. That's why daily snapshot visualizations are important because your brain is like, oh, this is my new reality. That's why athletes rehearse their victories in their minds before the game. The brain doesn't know the difference between what's imagined and what's real, so it responds the exact same way. So if you spend 5 minutes a day feeling what financial abundance looks like and financial freedom is like for you, not just thinking it, visualizing and feeling it, feel the relief, feel the exhale. Whew, feel the sweet sleep. God, feel getting in your bed and it feels so good in that bed. You don't have to think about no solutions. You about to have the best sleep of your life. Nothing is keeping you up at night thinking about what's about to happen next. Security of abundance as if it's already here. That's a practical tip. 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes a day. So money's like a seed. It's meant to flow. It circulates and it multiplies. When you circulate it with faith, giving, investing, sowing, it multiplies. Holding money in is scarcity and fear, and it creates stagnation. So, have you ever noticed where you held on to money too tight? But when you give with the right heart, the right mind, and the right spirit, and you understand the laws, you know it's coming back. You know it's coming back in increasing quantities. So something I practice is every time that I give, I know that I'm circulating a portion with joy. I'm circulating it because my future is going to be better. And I know that something is expanding in me. Okay. And money is energy. So money isn't just paper, it's energy. Most people think money is paper on bills and numbers on a screen. But if that were true, then why do two people with the same salary have completely different experiences with money? One stressed, barely making it, the other is peaceful, building wealth, and opportunities keep showing up. Money is really an exchange of energy. Think about it. When you go to work, you give your energy, your creativity, your time, your skills, and in return, you're given money. That money then returns and then carries the energy of your effort. And when you spend it, you're transferring that energy again to business, to service, or to another person. And your thoughts and emotions, they're like that same level of energy. Every time you think a thought about money, like there's never enough or I'll always struggle, you are sending out struggle energy. Every time that you think like that and you think about money like that, you are sending out struggle energy. And that's why there's the invisible barrier that I was just telling you about. That it's like, how could I just change what I'm thinking and change my identity? And everything starts changing because your thoughts and your mind and what's happening inside of you is literally like creating a barrier. So, recognizing that if you're thinking there's never enough, you're sending out negative struggle energy. If you feel like I'll always struggle, like everybody else in my family will make it, but they told me I was the one that would be broken and everybody would be helping, or whatever it is, it's gonna respond to how you're feeling and those emotions that you're putting behind that thing. Okay? So when I say that money is energy, it's definitely not just about paper, it's about the beliefs that you're carrying as you circulate money. And your money is always going to mirror the energy that you bring to it. So if you give out money and you pay bills and you just feel like it went into a pit, it's going to go into a pit. But if you pay your bill and you start saying that I am operating and this is circulating back to me in multiple ways, then guess what? You're putting out something different. And another example of this when people sow a seed and they name the seed. When you name your seed, you're connecting the energy to the thing that you are sending out. Same thing. Same thing. But even when you're paying a bill, name it and call it back to you. Okay. So that's why abundance isn't about hustling harder, working harder. It's about aligning your energy with God's provision. Number two, I get to rewrite my money blueprint. So T. Harv Eker teaches that your money blueprint is your financial thermostat. Just like your home thermostat is programmed to keep the temperature at 72, your financial thermostat is programmed. It's programmed since your childhood. It's programmed by your culture. It can be programmed by what your spouse has said to you, by what kids at school said to you. It's programming to keep your savings account at a certain level, your income at a certain level, your wealth at a certain level. Even if you temporarily make more money, you got your taxes back, you got a bonus, a big client, your subconscious will find ways to bring you back down to your set point, the money thermostat, through overspending, self sabotage, or shrinking opportunities. Because you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your blueprint. Okay. One of my clients, she grew up here and we can't afford that. Money doesn't grow on trees. So when she hit six figures in business, she still felt broke because her blueprint was set to survival. During our work together, she rewrote her blueprint and she replaced I can't afford it with God is my source. God is my source. Money flows to me easily. And she shifted her thermostat. Within weeks, she went from financial panic to financial peace. In less than 3 months, she attracted multiple new contracts and her first consistent surplus. So, when you shift your internal settings, you're going to start shifting your external reality. It has to adjust, not by choice, but by law. Somebody say, not by choice, but by law. So the amazing thing about laws like gravity, you don't have to hope gravity works. What I teach is law. And that's why we take you from impossible to possible to predictable, because there's not a question on whether gravity is going to work or not. If I hold this pencil up and I drop it, we all know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen when you apply these type of principles consistently over time and follow these laws in your life as well. So if you want to tap into more abundance, you get to rewrite your money blueprint. Number, if you want to do this, you can write down the prompt, but we're not going to do it right now, but you could do it later. You could write down one belief you realize is not yours, that was inherited from culture, family, or past struggle. Number three, release guilt, shame, and claim worthiness. So under earning is rooted in not feeling worthy. And you can be like, I do feel worthy. Like, I don't feel like that. And in your outer words, you may not feel like that. But our true level of worthiness is reflected in what we have. And when somebody told me that, it hurt my feelings. They just straight up hurt my feelings. I was like, I believe I'm worthy of more than what I have. Like, what do you mean? And then she started giving me examples. Like, well, I looked at 10 categories of my life. You know why? Because like when you don't feel like you're worthy of something, you do something different. Like if somebody, many people have experienced different situations. I'm just going to be talking about myself and my level of awareness with who I am today at my current age. Okay. No knock to anyone who's experienced this. I'm just talking from my awareness. If I was in a relationship and they were to beat me, my level of awareness says I don't deserve that. But if I stayed there for 5 years and I kept getting beat every month, and I told somebody that I believe I'm worthy of more than this, and I would be like, no, you don't. You don't believe it because if you did believe it, you wouldn't tolerate it. If you don't believe it, you don't tolerate it. That's why people they say that they are entitled to privilege. No, they're telling you what they won't tolerate. And that's what it looks like. I will not tolerate that. Goodbye. You vote for what you feel like you're worthy of every time you take an action. If you go to have service somewhere and they have horrible service, if you know you're unworthy of it, never cancel my order. I'm not worthy to be treated. I know who I am. I'm not worthy to be treated like this. No ma'am, no ham, no turkey. Worth. When you salary, they keep changing things at the job. I'm not. Is Anissa on here? Anissa's on here. If she don't mind me sharing just a smidgen of her testimony, I need to drop it in the chat if I can share just a smidget of your testimony. Renata said the repeated cycles change what we feel we're worthy of. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Okay, y'all. So Anissa was working at a job, a company. She was traveling back and forth to Winston-Salem multiple times a week, right? The people weren't treating her nice. The manager, they weren't accepting her ideas. It was like everything was a power struggle, a battle, and she's been nothing but kind, loving, nice, supportive. She's amazing, right? One day, about maybe 45 days ago or less, she said, I don't deserve this. It shouldn't be this hard. I shouldn't be treated like this. Like I know who I am. I know what I bring. I know that I have a great heart and that I'm only trying to help this organization and these people. So she left the job with no new job. She said, I'm not taking this because she knew her worth. Now, we're going to fast forward a little bit. We're going to fast forward to 10 days ago. or a little bit before 10 days. You know how some of you all were in our 7 days led to profit challenge, and we talked about being led by God. And because, God is holy, He's giving us holy instructions, and that means it's set apart. It may not be what everybody else is doing. He may not tell you to go the route everybody else says you, quote unquote, should go. And so the Lord told her, hey, go find this, go on LinkedIn. And everybody else said, don't go on LinkedIn. Nobody does that anymore. Well, the Lord told her to go on LinkedIn. So she did, and she connected with a recruiter, right? So then she has a series of interviews. And at the end of the 7 day led to profit challenge, we talked about the dollar amount that we want to live off of. We said if we could do the things we wanted, what would that look like? Y'all, at the end of the challenge, she got the job offer. She received a $38,000 raise. She no longer has to travel. When she walked and talked to one of the owner, the lady said, "We love God and we love people." Y'all, they gave her an office. Her own, she went from people undervaluing her to somebody saying, "Here's your own office." And then when she called the people, before she had accepted, the man said, "Oh, and I forgot to tell you, you also get bonuses." She left what she knew she was not what she deserved and not didn't reflect her worth. And because of that, she got to walk into something that did reflect her worth. So sometimes when we're in a situation where something feels like we're not worthy of, can it be scary to make a change? Can it be scary? Like I was so proud of her that she left. Because the world again would say, girl, don't you leave that job till you find a new job. And then people could be destroying our self-confidence, destroying our self-esteem, destroying our self-worth, talking to us in ways that nobody should talk to us, and we just sitting there. But she had the confidence. She heard the Lord say, you don't have to take this. And she was, goodbye. And look what God did. Imagine if she wouldn't have done that. She would have still been sitting over there with them people treating her horribly with $38,000 less money a month. Now she was able to put all her family on her benefits. Things are changing. Things are changing. Yes, they're dropping celebrations in the chat. We celebrate you. Yes, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. But she was led and she was obedient and she knew her worthiness and she walked in it and she walked into her next place of overflow, her next place of overflow. So you are already worthy. The kingdom doesn't give out worthiness as a paycheck. Worthiness is your birthright. Jesus paid for it, period. Period. And that's why you don't have to hustle for worth. You don't have to overwork trying to show people how good you are and how worthy you are of their attention, in relationships, of their time, of money. You don't beg for blessings. You get to receive what's already yours. Okay? So under earning is wealth rooted in feeling not worthy. And when you have a happy attitude, when you spend your money, it multiplies when you feel joy with it. So the very last shift is I can commit to making abundance predictable for me. So we talked about your subconscious runs 95% of your behaviors, and you get to choose to rewire your brain. You get to choose to reprogram your subconscious. You get to choose. So sometimes people always think if they wait later to do something, it'll be better. Most people try to change their money situations with their willpower, but willpower fades. Or some people will be like, oh, if I wait later to enroll in this right program or something, that things will be better. And then later turns into never, because waiting in the mind is the mind's way of staying safe. When you wait, that's like the security guard telling you, I'll let you in 15 minutes once a few more people come in. And so you stand there patiently in the dark, waiting to get in the club. And then 15 minutes goes by. You say, okay, Mr. Security Guard, my 15 minutes is up. Can I go in now? And then he says, oh, I'm sorry. It's going to be another hour. The security guard in your mind keeps telling you to wait, wait, wait. And we feel optimistic. Oh, absolutely. I'm doing that. I'm doing that. I'm just going to do it next year. I'm doing that. I'm doing that. I'm just going to do it next month. I'm going to start that business. I'm going to do that. I'm doing that. And you feel good about it. But delay is the most dangerous paradigm because in your mind, you're acting like you're giving yourself a yes, but it's really a no. It's really a no. And so, what truly works is reprogramming the subconscious through repetition and new habits that cause your abundance to be automatic. Like brushing your teeth. You don't have to think about brushing your teeth, you just do it. Imagine if saving, investing, and expecting overflow became automatic. So, when your subconscious is reprogrammed and your spirit is aligned with God's principles, abundance stops being a hit or miss experience and it becomes predictable. It becomes predictable. So those are some of the things that we choose, and you get to choose to be the most abundant you. So we're going to do an exercise, and with this exercise, um, you're going to decide for new results, and you're going to decide and choose the abundant you. So with this activity, we are going to go into breakout rooms. So I ask that if you are here and you are able to go to a breakout room, if you can come on camera, that would be great so that the person that you're with will have a human to see. So if you can, if you're on two devices, please only be on one device so we don't accidentally send somebody into a room with not a human. Okay, so you get to decide for new results. So you don't have to worry about the how. You're going to start thinking about what you would love and who is your most abundant self. What would you love? You don't have to worry about the how. So these are the instructions. You're going to think about what you would love. You're going to think about that it's 3 years from now and everything worked out. It's 3 years from now. 3 years from now, Sita. 3 years from now, Anissa and Sharon. It's 3 years from now, Shanika. Janet, everything, I mean, it worked out amazingly in your finances and abundance. You don't have to think about the how. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you why you don't have to think about the how. Can I have a volunteer that's able to come off mute and read something that I'm going to put on the screen? If you can be a volunteer, just raise your virtual hand for me, please. Thank you. Okay, Sonia, thank you. You can come off mute. Okay, in just a second, I'm going to have you read this. Okay, go ahead.
According to research at Stanford University, it doesn't matter what order the letters in a word are. The only important thing is that the first and the last letter be in the right place. This is because the human mind does not read every letter by itself, but the word as a whole.
Did y'all hear how well she read that? Even though it's all jumbled up. And we're sitting here getting stuck in the middle. Like, well, I don't know what to do next. You know where you are today. You know where you want to be. God and the brain he gave you will figure out the middle. Stop pausing. Stop not doing things because you don't know what's going to happen next. You don't have to know that you're going to hit every green light to leave your house to go to work. You know where you are in that moment and you know where you need to go. So this is for everybody to know, like release some of the pressure of thinking you have to have all the answers just to get started. Okay, so it's 3 years from now. We are 3 years from now, you're going to think about the how, you're going to engage with your five senses. So what that looks like. If you're in your most abundant life, it's 3 years from now, everything has worked out. What are you doing with your time? Where are you today? What does it smell like where you are? Are you home? Are you cooking? Are you smelling this amazing aroma? Are you at the beach? Like, what are you doing? What are you smelling? What are you feeling? You're going to use positive words. So what that means is instead of saying like I'm not sick, maybe if you have a physical challenge, instead you would say, I'm my most abundant and healthy self or something like that. Like I'm in my best health. I'm in my best health. And we start off with I'm so happy and grateful now that. Okay. I'm so happy and grateful now that. Okay. So in just a moment, we're going to go into breakout rooms. Before we go into breakout rooms, I'm going to give you about 1 minute to just start to write out a little bit. I just want to let your brain start flowing what you would love. But before we do that, I want everybody, we're just going to take a deep breath in and we're just going to breathe and just settle ourselves. Okay. So I want you to take a deep breath in with me, deep breath out, deep breath in, deep breath out. If you're still and stationary, I want you to take your hands and you're going to put them behind your head like this. And you're going to use your eyes and you're going to look towards your right elbow. This actually connects your left and right brain. And then look forward again and then look to your left elbow. Deep breath in. Shake your arms out a little bit. And now I want you to think of something that you are truly grateful for. What are you grateful for today? And next, what are you proud of yourself for? Good, 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 good. I see you guys doing your grateful fors and proud ofs. We have quite a few people off camera. So instead of going into breakout rooms, I'm going to have everybody journal um, your item. And there's a few people that are on camera. If you're on camera, I'll put you in a breakout room. If you're not on camera, then you're just going to be journaling yours, okay? Okay, so in this moment, I am going to um, send a few people to our breakout rooms. Okay, perfect. So the instructions are still on my screen, so take a good look at the instructions while they're up there so that you know what you're going to do when you go to your room. And in just a second, you all are going to be moving to your breakout rooms. The breakout rooms, you have 2 minutes each to share. Okay, perfect. So for those going to the breakout rooms, you should be being sent there now. For those that are still going to be here, I'm going to turn on some music so that you can do your journaling. And 1 second. Okay, there we go. I think your invite should be coming for your breakout rooms. And Angie, your invite, yep, there you go. Your invite, Angie, came to you for your breakout room too. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So everybody in here, you're going to have 5 minutes to journal. Imagine what you would love, that you are living your best life right now, that everything worked out perfectly. And I want you to write about it. This is a part of rewiring our brain. This is a part of the programming that is going to provide amazing results for you and open up doors for abundance to you. So take your journals out, you can type or you can write. It is better if you write, if you can write. I'm dropping some questions in the chat for you all as you're journaling to include. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. They're coming back in the room. Welcome back. I'm gonna have a few people come off mute and just tell me like a sentence of how it felt to share your vision as people are coming back in the room. So go ahead and start thinking about that. I'm gonna have a few people come in and tell me how you felt. Those who were journaling, also I'm gonna have you, if you wouldn't mind coming off mute for a moment, to just tell us how you felt writing that out. What feelings did you feel knowing that it was already done and that it all worked out? It's already done and it all worked out.
I'll go. This is Patrice. Um, it felt real. Like, and Ronaldo and Mira was in my room, and it's like, wait, we talking about 2028? Hold up. Like, it felt real. Like, we're talking about what's presently happening. And so definitely I feel empowered to like, oh, I can see myself there. Like we were in agreement with, oh man, like I want to see it. I want to see it. Like I already feel it and I already believe it. So it's just verbalizing what you've been thinking, and but now it's like, oh, I felt that. Like I see myself. Not I see myself like there. So
I love it. Thank you. Amir, you want to go next?
Yes. Hi, everybody. I second that. I just felt so full, so rich, so free, joyful, because happiness, no, joyful, abundant, full, loved, secure, safe, all of those things.
I love it. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Who's next? Yes, Angie.
It felt great to share it, to hear it out loud, and to, I guess, just talk about it with people that I don't know, to maybe see it, you know, become reality one day soon.
Absolutely. Yes, Anissa. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, I am in agreement. It felt great. It also it feels good to talk about it, but also to know that it is accomplishable. Like it will happen. It's going to happen. I can also smell paint. And that's one of the things I want. I want something new. I want something different. And I could smell the fragrance of paint as well, that to go along with some of the dreams and some of the things that we want to happen in the future.
I love it, love it, love it. Yes, Shanika, thank you for sharing that. That's amazing.
Yes, I kind of agree with everyone else. Me putting it into writing, it felt very euphoric. It was like I was taking like a deep breath. I felt relaxed. I felt grounded. And I was filled with just more clarity and hope for the future. And so felt confident in the actions that I need to take moving forward to get where I need to go, but not with the mindset of how I usually do things, which is like overworking and stressing and being anxious, but just being confident and relaxed about it.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Love that. Love that. Great job. Anybody else want to share? Sharon, Janet, anybody?
Oh,
Uh-huh.
this is Sharon. Um, I'm walking in a level of peace in my next level living. And
And
I hear and I smell the sound of the ocean, just sitting in peace, walking in abundance.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. That is powerful and amazing. I love it. So, my question to each and every one of you today is who is ready to choose the abundant you? Who is ready to choose the abundant you? You get to make a choice, and the choice is yours, and you get to choose the abundant you. So, who is choosing the abundant you? Go on. And why is now the time to step into the abundant life you were called to? So the question that you want to ask yourself is, why is now the time? You may be like, because I got somebody helping me get in the door and past the bouncer, you know? Why is now the time to step into the abundant life you were called to? It may be when you journaled at the beginning about how long you felt the way you felt, or how many years there have been cycles of certain things, or knowing what's next for you. It's like, get me to that ASAP. Like there's a proven system, there's a proven method. We have laws of science, spirituality, and a predictable way to get me there. I'm getting there. So why is now the time to step into the abundant life? So can you type in the chat, why is now? NOW, why is now the time to step into the abundant life you were called for? Why is now the time? Because tomorrow is too late. That's good. Because tomorrow's too late. There's no more time to wait for next. That's good. Why is now the time? That abundant woman that you know you called to be, that you just saw in your vision, why is now the time to step into that abundant life that you were called to? Anissa said, there's no time like the present, and accountability is everything, and is. Accountability is life changing. That's a great answer. That is so true. Accountability is everything. That's good. Sharon said, everything new. Now everything works. Not only that, preach, I have a whole thing about that, but that's in our abundance acceleration breakthrough program. But yes, about newness. Yes, everything works, and making sure that our stuff works because the opportunity is now. I know there's more for me to do in this earth. Facts on facts on facts. Amen and amen and amen. I love that. Love that. Love that. Love that. Why is now the time for you? So that's a powerful question that we can ask ourselves so that we know. Um, in 2 hours, we began literally rewiring your brain. In 2 hours. Imagine what 10 weeks of this immersion, 77 days, would do for you. How science and spiritual laws, neuroscience combine together to help you to create your next level, your next best self, your most abundant self. Because when we do it by ourselves, a lot of times there's no accountability, like Anissa said. And when the paradigms show up, we don't know what to do with them. Sometimes we don't even recognize that they're present. But being able to be in a consistent beautiful, safe container. You're going to get to step into a combination of where your brain and spirit meet because that's the fastest path to wealth and abundance with ease. You're a spirit, soul, and a body. When we combine all three, there is nothing out there that is going to help you combine your spirit, your soul, and your body to create your wealth identity and to walk into it and to tap into the abundance that God already says is yours. I like to call it one day what the Lord revealed to me is that you have heavenly escrow accounts that have your name on it that are waiting for you to tap in. And that's why all I had to do is start thinking different. I had to learn when I changed my identity. I didn't even have to spend the money, and the things I had been wanting started coming. So it's not even about, oh, I have to do it this way. It's about opening and welcoming it to you. So you tell yourself, I'm committed to this. I'm committed to this. So I want to break down the Abundance Acceleration Breakthrough Program. So this amazing program has 10 weekly activations. So every week we're going to meet on an evening and you're going to have subconscious reprogramming audios that are helping to change your mind and rewire your brain. Dr. Caroline Leaf says it takes at least 66 days to rewire a pattern and a habit to the point where when winds blow and a storm comes, that you don't just revert back to the old you. So it takes 66 days at a minimum to really reprogram. And so we're going with 7 and 7 for God's completion because we're doing a complete work for you, a complete work for your next level of abundance, a complete work for your wealth identity, a complete work to pull back to you the time, money and energy that you've lost over the years, a complete work. A complete work. You're going to have self-talk tools. You're going to have daily immersions. You'll have a workbook for every week, and you have the kingdom community of powerful people that are walking with you, and you're going to have an outcome of peace, overflow, and community. One couple did this program. I don't do this program often. So this maybe once a year, maybe twice a year. This is not a like, oh, I'll sign up next month. Like that's not a thing. Okay. So this is just when the Lord puts in my spirit to do it, that's when I do it. But one of the couples that did the first one, they made and saved over $30,000. And their program wasn't 10 weeks, it was 8 weeks. In 8 weeks, they made and saved $30,000. Another person that was in the program, I think we might have been on week 6. He had been in business for over 3.5 years. He got the largest sale for his company that he had ever gotten in 3 years when he tapped into this Abundance Acceleration Breakthrough Program. We've had people get new jobs, increase, just amazing things. One young lady, I teach people, neuroscience, manifestation, the laws of success and spirituality, combining those together. And she was to the point where she was literally just thinking about going on a cruise, like, oh, it would be so nice for me to go on a cruise. And she removed all the unworthiness and all those thoughts that were keeping her bound. Do you know that within an hour, she was on the phone on a work call with her manager? And her daughter texted her and said, Mom, I want to take you on a cruise. We're about to pay for you a cruise. Can I send you the details? And on the phone, she kind of screamed, and her manager was like, Is everything okay? And she was like, I'm okay. I just visualized something and imagined it, and it just happened. That same young lady, she works in a sales environment at her job, and they had half the people because half the people had taken medical leave. And so she only had a half of a team and she works on commissions. Normally, when you have a half of a team and you work on commissions, that means what? Your money is cut in half, right? Well, guess what happened for her? Because she was using these principles and because she was speaking and walking in the abundance breakthrough program and the information that we learned, her income doubled 2 months in a row with half the staff. The things that we're seeing, it's amazing. I'm not surprised because it's like gravity. If you stand on top of your bed and jump off, unless somebody catches you, we know what's going to happen. So we may not be like, oh, good job. You jumped and you landed on the ground. We know you're going down. I know that wealth and abundance is coming to you in increasing quantities. I know that you're going to start to see things, that you're going to become different, that you're going to start responding to situations and circumstances and events different. because this is a proven system and a proven process, a proven system and a proven process. So there are so many testimonials that I could share with you, that they felt so free, they felt so happy. Dion, one day she needed amount of money, and hers was $7,000, but somebody else needed like $1,500. And even though she needed $7,000, she operated the law of circulation and she gave the $1,500 to the other person who needed that money more desperately. Do you know that in 7 days, miraculously, some random way, $7,000 was in her account? I saw her. I was like, how's everything going? She said, you are not going to believe what happened to me. She said, and I gave the person the money, even though I still needed money. And but their amount was smaller than my amount. So maybe this is my seed. So I gave it to her. And then 7 days later, $7,000 was literally in my bank account. And I was able to do everything I needed to do. What? It's been absolutely amazing. So in this program, it's an intimate program because we are reprogramming. So there are only 8 spots left right now. And there's also, if when you register for the program today, you get a complimentary one-on-one coaching session with me, which my coaching is currently, my one-on-one coaching sessions I've already sold out. But I'm going to get you a one-on-one coaching session with me as well. Now, this program is, I'm going to give you some of the details really quick. So, if you felt the energy shift in the room today and know that you're ready to step out of financial stress and into overflow, then this is for you. If you're like, oh, I don't know if this is for you. If you're already abundant and you're like, man, imagine how much more abundant I could be if I just knew these principles and I didn't even have to work any harder. A bunch more abundant, a bunch better. Okay, so I want to extend to you that personal invitation to this program because everything we've covered in this masterclass, the pain, the shifts, the breakthrough tools, they work together. And now we want to make it permanent. Okay, so you can go from a 2 hour shift to a 10-week immersion to bring your money mindset, your spiritual alignment, and subconscious program into full harmony. It's not accidental, it's going to be predictable. So let me tell you what you're going to receive in the program. So 10 weekly live activations, practical teachers, plus real-time abundance blocker remediate. There are things that you are doing. There are things that are in your house that are literally blocking abundance. If you want to know what they are, how to remove them, we're going to cover that in the class. Like we have tangible things that I'm going to teach you. This needs to go. This needs to go. This needs to go. Watch stuff open up for you. Okay. You're going to also learn the laws of abundance, rules of abundance, and so much things and support. You have audios every week. Every week, we have information because you have to learn. We have to reprogram with new information. So you're going to get that information every week. You also have the Dare to Say self-talk audios that are reprogramming your subconscious. Because if you haven't looked underneath the hood in a while, you don't know what's in your brain running these programs. Like there's some things you could think of, but there's some things you just don't even remember. You just don't know. But now it's time to reprogram. And then you'll have daily immersions in our portal where we have messages, where we have challenges, like where he'll say, hey, start saying this phrase 3 times today and watch what happens. It's an amazing Kingdom Commerce Collective where you surround yourself with high achieving, faith centered people and a community that's designed for strategy, support, and success. Everything is designed so abundance becomes your new baseline. Everything is designed so abundance becomes your new baseline. Not just a payday, not just an increase at work, not just one-time money to your bank account. We're aligning you to a new steady flow of overflow, rest, and expansion. And you're going to learn what God says about abundance, his true intention, so you can tap into what he says. So let me tell you what will shift for you. So when you fully engage, you're going to come out of this thing recoded. Somebody drop in the chat recoded. He's going to move you off of the financial roller coaster in the steady overflow. So no more feast and famine. Like it was great. Now we don't have nothing. It's been great. Everybody I'm treating. Now can somebody treat me? That that part. But you know, your money's gonna start flowing consistent and increasing waves that bring peace instead of panic. I'm gonna teach you how to train your nervous system for abundance. You're going to heal your money traumas. We have a whole section dedicated just to healing your money traumas. Some of you all don't even realize that you're responding to money traumas. You're going to release the burden of carrying it all alone. No more overwork and over giving, over giving that's causing you exhaustion. You're going to feel supported, replenished, rested, and you're going to expand your vision, not shrink it to match your wallet. You don't have to shrink your vision to match your wallet. I can't do that because I only have this much money. We don't operate in that space. Okay. Your finances are going to begin to expand to match your dreams and the dream God placed in your heart. So you're going to break free from being capped in that invisible ceiling that keeps saying, this is all I have, or this is all I deserve. And you're finally going to step into the wealth and freedom that you know is possible without working any harder. One of the things I'm like, man, I can't afford not to do this. Like when I first started learning this, I was like, well, I really can't afford not to do this. So I'm going to figure it out. So right now, you get to decide. You get to decide. If the answer is yes, I'll share with you what your investment is for this container. Okay, so this in the world that I'm in, this program is valued at over $9,000. It's valued at over $9,000 because of the transformation that it brings and what's going to happen to you, how much increase it's going to bring into you. And it's not a one-time thing. Like you're not going to learn a principle just to be abundant for 30 days. You can use these principles for the rest of your entire life. I teach my kids these principles. Like my kid, mommy, can I have this? Okay. So what do we know about you? That abundance is your birthright. What do we know about you? Money comes to you frequently and increasing qualities. What do we know about you? So what are we going to do? Like I'm already teaching my kids that I'm not their only source of income because I know how these laws work and they get to watch money come to them without it having to come through me. It's not because I wouldn't give it to them. It's not because I don't have it, but I get to teach them what I didn't learn until I was in my 40s. So the moment that you decide to invest, the transaction and the transformation begins. So I've been able to create this program for you all with the 10 weekly live activations, with the mindset repositioning audios, with the dare to say self-talk videos that reprogram your mind. They go deep. If people know me, I'm a deep person. Like I'm not a surface person. Like I want to go deep. Like what's the deep thing? Like let me help with the deeper things. Okay, so that's why we're going all the way to the root of your subconscious programming, unrooting and uprooting the things that have been there. The daily emergent messages, the weekly workbook, exercises, journaling prompts, the practices. So you're not just hearing it, you're doing it. This is the accountability. This is the 77-day accountability that will change your life. This is the immersion. Like it's one thing to read an abundance book, like, oh, I read that book. Yeah, but did somebody help you make sure you inculcated it into your everyday life? That to where you didn't read it and it was cool for 30 days and then you forgot all about it? No, we're doing this together. This is a small environment. There are only 8 seats so that you can walk through this with the support that's required to change your life forever. Okay? So in this program, that's what you are receiving, and these are the things you're going to see start shifting for you, moving off the financial. Man, I've had multiple people start coaching with me and they didn't even have a job. And they figured it out and then they watched their life bloom. One young lady, she started coaching with me and she didn't have a job and she did have a business, but it wasn't making a lot of money. Well, when she got in coaching, she started working with me. The following at the next 90 days over the next 3 months, she winded up making $5,000, which was much more than she had made before. That was just from her side business. And then she also received a new opportunity and received a new job that was paying her what she was worth and not underpaying her. One of my other clients that went through this program, she came through the program, and the next thing that happened with her was she got a job that was her dream salary. And she's a single woman, and all the things that opened up for her, she was like, now I can do this. Now I can do. I mean, you should have heard the excitement in her voice of everything that opened up for her, all the things that she could do because she finally got a job at the number that was really going to help her live comfortably. It's amazing. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So these are the details about what's in the program. The program has been appraised at over $9,000. However, today, this Abundance Acceleration Breakthrough Program is being offered at a special rate for those who enroll today. There is a discounted price, so it's $1,500. It's only $1,500 if you pay in full. Every link has an option for a payment plan. So even if you click to pay in full, there's an option for you to break that up on your own. So then there's also options where you can click and do the other payment plan. So there's a four payment plan. I tried to give multiple options for you, but you can choose, but there are only 8 spots. But the price does go up in a few hours. So later this afternoon, the price is going to go up. So for everyone who purchases today, you're going to get a special price, which is the $1,500, or you can choose the payment plans. $1,000 deposit and then 2 monthly payments, or you want to pay 4 payments. So when the 8 spots are gone, the doors are closed. And we're going to drop the link in the chat for you as well. There we go. Thank you. So you can click that link right there to enroll, but we're bringing all of this to you at a price that you won't see again later. This is really unheard of. Like people that enroll in the lowest almost 3 month program I've ever done was more than this. Like this is not normal, but I'm here to support you in this journey. And this transformation starts with a seed for it. So this is extraordinary. This is extraordinary. So if so many of the other people that did it, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, you can do this. This is leaving no stone unturned. You can start today with a deposit of $500. If you click the pay in four link, you can start today with just $500. So when you enroll in this program, you also get all the replays. So if there's ever like, oh, dang, this came up, I had to go, a family member passed away and this is on this day. No worries. We're going to make sure you have everything you need. You're not going to miss anything. You're still going to be in our platform, in our system, and we're going to keep growing. And you have tons of resources that you can listen to during that time. Thank you for asking your question. What other questions are there? So remember, if you enroll today, this is the discounted price. So after today, the price goes up. So you want to do whatever you can to start on one of the packages today. The other thing is that there are only 8 seats. So go ahead and grab yours, do whatever you need to do. If you got to call in a favor so you can change your life forever. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of Myron Golden. Sometimes you look at people where they are right now and you think, oh my gosh, they got it all together. They're so amazing. Do you know that Myron Golden said that he had a friend that loaned him $2,000 a month for 2 years so he could get his life together? And that was only 10 years ago. But y'all, he said 10 years ago he was broke as a joke. And he said, first of all, thank God for that friend. His friend loaned him $2,000 a month for 2 years so he could build businesses, write his books, start companies, and launch. And here we are thinking, Jesus don't want me to borrow anything. I just got to do this on a different way. No, he told that lady with the jars to go get you some vessels from these people so I can make you wealthy. So you guys are resourceful. You live in God's abundant universe. So I am looking forward to you being in this program. So what happens when you enroll? When you enroll, it will send a notification. The very first thing that will come to you will be your agreement as well. And then we're going to have an orientation call. So we'll have an orientation call where we'll find out everybody's schedules and work through those things, when our class is going to be, and get you inculcated into our system. We're going to start you on your resources. For the people that enroll now, you're going to get actually more than 77 days as well. So that is an additional bonus as we are enrolling. So my name is Tavia Joyce Jackson. And my first name, it means literally a shortcut to new beginnings. Like that's my assignment. I am your shortcut to your new beginning in your life. I am your shortcut to the new abundance that's coming into your life. My middle name means experienced in battle and one who's joyful. So not only am I a United States Marine and I'm literally experienced in battle, but I'm experienced in financial battles. I told y'all about being at the grocery store putting stuff back, about my lights being off in a two-income home, still lights off. You know, I have experienced financial battles, marriage battles, miscarriages, being diagnosed with an incurable disease. They go on and on and on, but I'm experienced in battle. And through those battles, the Lord said, now I'm giving you a battle strategy so you can help other people and still be joyful. I'm so grateful. My middle name is Joyce. And then my last name is one who moves others into position. Like now that I'm married, that's my new last name. Well, it's 20 years, so it's not new, but it's my last name. But God literally said, I am calling you to be somebody's shortcut to their next level and to move them into the position that they knew they were supposed to already be in, to move you in the position that God called you to be in, to move you where your vision is calling you to move you to the place where you're like, I should have been here. What is going on? If that is you, if you're like, man, what is going on? Why am I not in the place where I know I'm supposed to be? Then this is for you because that's who I am. And when you connect with an answer to your problem, then you have a solution. Yes, Patrice, she's already registered. Whoop, 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 whoop. And empowered to live in abundance. Yes, ma'am. We celebrate you, Patrice. Great job. Go ahead. It's going to be absolutely amazing, amazing, amazing in this space. We've had some massive testimonies. One person's testimonial said that this abundance acceleration breakthrough literally saved their life. It saved their life and it changed their life. So maybe you're tired of your financial situation and you're like, but my question is, how much longer do you want to be tired of it? So we got to do something radical. If you do the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, that's the definition of insanity. So here you get to do something different. This is your different. This is your different. So one, let me thank our host today. My awesome husband was helping us out today. So we celebrate you, y'all. My husband is so amazing. He is a gift to me that shows me God's love every day. Like I'm like, this is what God's love is like. I celebrate you, babe. I thank you for everything that you do, and you matter to me so much. So I celebrate every one of y'all that came here today. Again, don't forget if you haven't registered yet, you have about 2 hours before the price goes up. And we celebrate those. If you've already gotten registered, great job, great job, great job. And remember, now there's only 6 spots left just based on them, but I haven't even looked at everything, so there could be less left. But if you know this is your time for elevation and to attract abundance, let's get it. Let's get it. I'm here to serve. I will pour my heart out. What I did not list on this is we have prayer together too. So last time for our Abundance Acceleration Masterclass, we met in the mornings and we prayed through the word. This is a spirit, soul, and body encounter. We prayed to pull in from heaven what was ours that should be manifested on this earth. And that's who I am. So we're going to be praying as well. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to pull it down from heaven into your reality. So I love you all. Have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining.